Let's compare the Goyard Anjou Mini to the Goyard Saint Louis in the PM size. Price-wise, the Anjou Mini is quite a bit more expensive than the Saint Louis in the PM size, but that's also because the Anjou bags are reversible and can be worn as a full leather bag on the outside with an interior canvas lining, or a canvas bag with an interior leather lining. And the interior of the St. Louis bags are basically a very, very thin canvas. So there's definitely a big difference in the amount of leather and fabric in the two bags, which obviously justifies the big price difference. Both bags can be worn on the shoulder, as you can see, and lengthwise, they almost look like they're the exact same, but for some reason, the Anjou Mini does feel like it might be the teeniest bit shorter, but I don't think that it is. I think it might just be because the bag in general is smaller, so it just feels a little bit tighter. But as you can see, they both can be worn on the shoulder. Now, I can say they both cannot be worn on the shoulder with a thick, heavy coat, but as you can see, with a thinner top, something a little more fitted, or even just like a simple button up, you can definitely wear it comfortable on the shoulder. I've already done a what's in my bag video on the Anjou Mini, so I definitely recommend you go check that video out, but it does fit all of my essentials, and most of them are technically full size. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab all of my essentials from the Anjou Mini bag and move it over to the St. Louis PM so you can see the difference and how it fits inside. So this is everything inside. Actually, my phone's not in there, so let me throw my phone in there. So now this is everything in my bag. I'm gonna put everything into the St. Louis PM so you can see how much bigger that one is. Before I move everything over, I do want to show it without the interior organizer. Yes, the interior organizer. I am not a big insert fan. I've talked about this in a very, very old video, but for these Goyard bags, because the interior, one, they're so thin, so they really just, they're just look at how thin they are, but also the interior is so light. I really wanted to protect the integrity of the bag as much as possible. These are very, very thin bags, so I did put one in this bag, but for the sake of the size and for the sake of truly comparing the two bags, I'm gonna go and show it without, but I do recommend putting one in the St. Louis bags because I just feel like they kind of need it. You don't have to, of course. I don't think they look bad with just the sagginess of the bags, but I don't know. I just felt like they needed a little bit of protection. So I'm moving everything over into the bag. And I also want to point out that both bags do come with a pouch. The one that comes with the St. Louis is definitely on the bigger side, but both of them cannot be completely removed from the bag. You can remove the pouch, but not the strap. So here is the Anjou Mini. It is now completely empty. Obviously, the little pouch is still attached to it. So there it is, completely empty with the leather interior, as you can see. And now I've got all of my items in the St. Louis PM size. I'm gonna go and just put this off to the side so it doesn't visually take up a lot of space, but here is everything in the PM St. Louis bag. And as you can see, you've got a lot more room. Yes, this can hold a laptop really comfortable. I think this looks really, really good once you have your items in. Obviously, it's easier to get your things in and out of, and obviously you have a lot more room for a cardigan, a sweater, a laptop, additional items, a beach towel if you're taking it to the beach. And this is just the PM size, you guys. The GM is quite a bit bigger, but yes, let me see if I can really, really show you how much room everything is taking up. There is a lot of room left for the same amount of items. Okay, just for the sake of showing you options, I did want to go ahead and put the insert in with the same amount of items so you can really, really see what it looks like once those are in there. I still have a lot of room, and obviously the organizer does give the bag a lot more structure. So what is y'all's preference? Do you prefer the look of it with the insert in it, or do you prefer kind of the sagginess? I will say having the insert not only keeps everything kind of organized, but it also makes it easier to find your things because they don't just all fall towards like this center area. It does make it easier to see your things and grab them. This particular organizer, I had like these like water bottle inserts, so if I wanted to put my water bottle in, but you can see the sag is gone once the insert is in, even though all of the items, and again, I still have a lot more room. A couple of things I want to point out in regards to the bag is the piping detail. As you can see on the Anjou Mini, the piping is on the canvas side of the bag, which I personally feel gives it a little bit more structure. And then the leather interior, there is no piping since the piping is on the outside of the bag, I guess you could say. And then the piping for the St. Louis bag is on the inside of the bag. So because of that, there is no piping on the canvas side, whereas you have piping here on the interior, the kind of cloth canvas material, if that makes sense. I also want to point out the thinness of the material. Let me go and pull everything out so you can just see the bags themselves. If you've never touched a Goyard St. Louis bag before and you order one kind of blind, you're probably going to be shocked with how thin this bag is. I really want to try to show it on camera since you can't feel it, but the thinness of this bag is quite alarming if you are used to like a Louis Vuitton Neverfull bag. They are not at all comparable thickness wise. Like this is such a thin bag. So because of this, I really, really recommend you're very careful with what you put in this bag, because if you put something too sharp, it will puncture this bag. That is how thin this is. And I really just want to show it empty so you can really just kind of see how thin it is. Like it is such a thin bag, but because this one is dual lined, that reversible, it's not nearly as thin, but it is still thinner than a Louis Vuitton Neverfull, just for reference. But as you can see, it's not nearly as thin. And I don't know if it's just like, look at how floppy this is. And this one's just not. The Anjou Mini can hold its own because not only do you have the leather interior and the piping I feel like is a little bit thicker, but it's also a smaller bag. Whereas St. Louis, it's just going to fall. It's not going to hold its own. It cannot sit on its own without, see, it's just going, it's so thin. There's zero integrity of this bag. The straps are really nice and thick. I actually prefer the Goyard straps over the Louis Vuitton straps if you were to compare the bags. Canvas wise, Louis Vuitton is much thicker, much heavier, much weightier, much more structured. Goyard definitely loses on the quality of the canvas, but Goyard wins in my books in regards to the quality of the straps. I think the strap quality, like the thickness and the glazingness of it, is better. I know I had the issue with my first Goyard St. Louis in the GM size, but I haven't had any issues with the PM one, and obviously I haven't had any issues so far with the Anjou one, but I really, really love the structure of the straps. But I do want to just kind of point out a few things. You can kind of see strap drops and everything and strap qualities. You know, I actually thought that the Anjou straps were nicer, but to be honest, they're basically the exact same, but you can really, really see size-wise the comparison of the two bags. The Anjou Mini is so small. I also want to point out the way that the canvas kind of plays with the navy versus with the tan. I just think these are such beautiful color combos in my opinion, but I just love them so much. But if you're looking for something a little more structured, I would go with the Anjou bag. Obviously, it's a lot pricier. If you're wanting to save some money, I would definitely go with the St. Louis bag. It is definitely the more affordable option, but I just want to warn you, it is really, really thin. So I know I already showed the interior of the Anjou Mini. Let me put this down. I also wanted to show you the St. Louis, that it's basically the same in regards to the fact that there's no pockets or anything, but you can see the piping, and then you also can see the interior. It is a very, very light canvas and a very, very thin canvas. And so if you are wanting to basically keep these bags looking as new as possible. I feel like adding an insert is a smart choice, not only for the structure of the bag itself, but also just to keep that interior as clean as possible. Mine still looks brand new. Okay, just for the sake of the video, I wanted to go ahead and share what the Anjou Mini looked like whenever you reversed it, if you wanted to do one on the leather side. I'm personally not a fan of this. I will probably never wear it like this, but I did want to share, especially because I wanted to show you that then it starts to look more like the St. Louis bag because the piping is on the inside of it. The Goyard obviously goes to the outside. It's in a red stamp here, but it does remind me a little bit more of the St. Louis this way. And if you wanted to wear it this way, obviously you could. It's less loud, less Goyard in your face. If you even know what Goyard is, the canvas print, most people don't. But yes, you definitely have this option as well, whereas obviously the St. Louis is not reversible. And then also just a little fun fact in regards to the Goyard St. Louis bag. This was actually designed to originally be a beach tote. You took your items to the beach like this with everything inside, and then when you left the beach you reversed it so that you could put your wet items with the canvas material that would protect the bag. So you could reverse it, put your wet towel, your swimsuit, your swim trunks, or anything like that that was wet in the reversible side. So you would actually carry this one reversible. I guess so technically, can it be worn reversible? Yes, if you want the canvas on the outside. That's originally how it was meant to be worn as a beach tote, which is partly why it is so thin and why it was made exactly this way, because it was originally a beach tote that you wore this way to the beach and reversed when you left. So there you have it. There are lots of details in regards to the Goyard Anjou Mini and the Goyard St. Louis in the PM size. Let me know in the comments, which bag do you prefer? Do you prefer the Anjou Mini or the St. Louis bag in the PM size? And also let me know what color combo is your favorite. If you're new to my channel, my name is Amanda. I do a lot of fashion and luxury videos here, so make sure to stick around and watch some of my other videos. And don't forget to subscribe as well, and I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Let's go to the ocean.